Maybe
Right, so
next
I think that means I
time.
go.
Yes,
Yeah, I
yes,
go
yes.
first.
I love it.
Sorry. All right. Hello, everyone. Happy March. I hope everybody had an amazing weekend. I know I did, but I'll go into that later. Unfortunately, Jocelyn couldn't make it today because she's in her concert for Kaleidoscope, but I know I'm wishing her the best of luck, and I know she'll do amazing. This week was full of so much fun for Model UN as we got to go to UNAR, our annual spring conference at St. John Fisher. This really was like just the best conference, and just our committee alone, we raised $620 for the MK Gandhi Institute, and just like a committee of, it was kind of big, 26 people, but there was some with 50. Yes, so great things are definitely happening in MUN. This was also the last conference for a few of our delegates, but since Soliana G. received an Outstanding Delegate Award, and Brooke H. received an honorable mention in chairing, I would say it was definitely a good last conference for them. Also, congratulations to Charlotte, who received the Best Delegate Award, and Ryan, Sawyer, Spencer, Abby, and maybe me, who got an honorable mention. Towards the end of February, also, I would like to shout out the Black Art event hosted by Dream Club, which was extremely successful. Mr. Stahl got to show some of his artwork of Black artists, which he does alongside, alongside a couple other super talented Black artists and a jazz band which was playing. This night meant a lot to me since I was lucky enough to be able to share a whole panel of my own artwork from throughout the classes I've taken and share a personal poem that I wrote. The night was amazing, and each year it's been getting bigger, and a big shout out to Ms. Nieves and Mr. Raymond. And just a couple more announcements since Jocelyn isn't here. The Thomas Musical is coming up, opening on the 27th through the 29th, and I know I can't wait to see it with my grandma, as we usually do. I know they've been working so hard, and I'm super proud, and they are also super proud. Also, shout out to the faculty basketball charity game, which is happening tomorrow, and hopefully we'll win this one. It's been a long time, but some different teachers are doing it this year, so maybe. Yes, and I'll definitely, I didn't get to go the other years, but I'll be there on Wednesday this time, so maybe it'll be good luck. Dylan R., and also congratulations to Dylan R. and Caleb C., who participated in state champs at Ithaca for swimming. And lastly, congratulations to Mason M., who competed in Skills USA at Alfred and placed second in food prep. And that's all I have, so over to you.
All right. The weather outside is beautiful. Just would like to say our spring sports are very excited. I just came from softball practice with Kate. Yeah. But our back to school events. Senior Sam O won the GVFL Coaches Excellency Award on Saturday at the National Qualifier Tournament. I don't have a slideshow today, sorry, but there's pictures with him and the trophy, and they just all look so happy. And then at McQuaid, Schrader qualified 9 students to attend the NCLA Grand National Tournament in Chicago, which is super fun. A bunch of my friends are in that, and they love going to Chicago. It's such an awesome experience. Miss Metz-Miller's class collected donations for Willow Domestic Violence Center. All 4 classes together collected 2 full boxes of toiletries, snacks, and they also donated $148 to the center, which is really awesome. Jessica F., Allison K., and Justin W. competed at the 2025 Code Quest competition at Lockheed Martin. They spent 2.5 hours solving programming problems designed by software engineers who work at Lockheed Martin, which is super cool. The Schrader Band Department will be hosting Dr. Russell Michelson, who is the director of bands at Ohio State University, and he's going to help with a series of clinics and open rehearsals for them to host a concert on the 20th at 6:30, which is in the Schrader Auditorium, and it's free and it's open to all. Webster Schrader Wrestling just won Section 5 Class A sectionals and made it to the state semifinals, placing top 4 in New York State, which is awesome. Ethan C. won an individual sectional title, and Coach Seabury was named Section 5 Wrestling Coach of the Year. Mr. Peck will be presenting at the 87th Annual New York State Conference for Social Studies. This will be not his first, but his third time presenting there. He will also be presenting at the FRED camp in 2025, which is a professional development conference for educators looking to honor and incorporate the legacy of Fred Rogers in their work. And just a couple more. Schrader Theater Company held auditions for the Cafe Mocha Murders. Our cast of 9 amazing student actors hits the stage May 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And finally, we're having our college and career fair on Friday for students in the gymnasium, and I know a bunch of local businesses are coming to have stands for students to come and see what all their businesses are about, which is awesome. And that's it.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank
both
you.
very
Thank you,
much.
guys.
Great to see you.
You too.
Yep, Joni.
All right.
You're welcome.
Hello,
Hi.
Jody.
I'm Joan Barnabas, and I'm going to have this wonderful WTA colleague introduce herself in just a few minutes, and she'll let you know what a wonderful thing different people are doing around our district and across our nation. This year, our March, we all know, is a tough month to get to and even sometimes tougher to get over. Snow days are good. If we get some more snow. Okay. Our elementary schools, though, are doing a really wonderful job. Our WTA people have organized our librarians our own version, their own version of March Madness, which comes with our teachers creating some slides about their favorite books at whatever age they're teaching or what's in their building. And then they end up, by the end of March, coming down with one winner per school. I will be bringing some of those books, hearing student voice, through some really neat March Madness organization. Our visual display is showing how lucky we feel to be part of our school. That is going to be up at elementary buildings thanks to our WTA members. They will be dressing in rainbow colors to offset and be able to highlight that. Compliment cards are being given out from members to members and of course throughout the whole building. Our middle schools are appealing to an appetite. They went big potato buffet. That's coming up this building. And they are going to be helping organize a hashtag Why You Matter campaign, also giving out some compliment cards to help not only just get through March, but we all know it's wonderful when people see what you do. High schools. March is Music in our High Schools Month. It's a national celebration, and this year's theme is United Through Music. We have so many of the musicals, the concerts, they're in every building, you guys are aware. The time and dedication from our members who stay here, come in early, stay here late, work around students' schedules so they can practice and be part of the music however they can is amazing. Last week, our Dream Club, as you heard, hosted a wonderful art contributions from students that were visual, written, spoken, and musical, and it was held in our library media centers. It was about the Black artistry and the diversity within our community. Or what are murals you can find in Spanish? I'm going to mispronounce that, but I do some words because from Long Island. Just the way life is. Where's Swenson? So it was painted by the big 3 artists that were chosen, and the students were sprawled out all over, and you had to move around, and they were really neat, going through some social issues through language as our second, through our upper language-speaking Spanish communities. Esports. It was only a few years ago, not even, that I sat here and told you it was a new club. Our Apex Legend is ranked 1 of 18 teams. Our Mario Kart team is ranked 36 but out of 55 East Division teams. Our Earth Club has grown from having a thrift, or we call it a vintage fair, not just our concert and apparel fair, but also our fall, and now they're having another one in the spring because they're getting needs that people want, but not just the need for people who want to see the clothes, but need for people who want to contribute and are like, oh, I'm going to save this and put that in there. Students, WTA members, anyone in our buildings. Our NHS with our UPK have teamed up to do some pretty cool things. They are creating UPK students and helping fill libraries, raising books. Their quote, help us support a community that reads and a love of books. So they are going to continue to reach out and make sure students have books in their hands as they go home. Our WTA officers, we have a couple of them here. They have been attending conferences. Our leadership is strong. It's amazing. And in order to stay sharp and informed, they go to different conferences around the state. So we can help make informed, caring, educated decisions. Our Women's Committee, on May 28th, they will be holding together. And even though it is called Women's Committee, everyone is welcome, everyone is invited, and they are going to be focusing on some of the things that sometimes we just put over to the side. And they're like, nope, we need to put those up front and talk about them, see what our solutions can be, brainstorm throughout the state, throughout the region. Our WTA Cares. Craig Johnville's name is, everyone here knows who he is. He's a wonderful man. The only thing stopping that man from June's Tour de France, raising money for diabetes, is because his own child has a tournament away from from where this bike raising wonderful charity is. But we have another WTA member that says, give me the stuff, I've got this, there's no problem. And she rides 64.8 miles. You could ride 33.5 miles or 12.5, but Tammy decides she's riding the 64.8. Our thank yous. We have gotten from students, teachers, supervisors, the community. 3 highlights for this month. Thank you all for showing up every day and doing such great work in and out. I see you all and I appreciate each one of you. A thank you again for all your help. She, our daughter, the parent who wrote it, really values her time with you. I hope you have a fabulous winter break. And with that, I'm going to leave it to this wonderful published author and WTA colleague.
Hello, board. My name is Siobhan Julian. I teach Regents Chemistry and AP Chemistry at Webster Schrader High School. And for several years now, I have been involved in the POGLE project, and POGLE stands for Process-Oriented Guided Inquiry Learning. Essentially, they are carefully crafted inquiry activities where students, essentially using constructivism, work through the very carefully crafted activity to develop their own understanding of the particular concept. And I am here tonight because the second edition of the AP Chemistry POGLE book was published in the fall, and I was on the committee of 5 that reviewed the previous activities and wrote new activities for the second edition. So activities that I wrote myself are in this book, and this is published nationwide. So AP chemistry teachers from around the country might be working on something that a Webster teacher created, which is very cool. And in the acknowledgement section, it says, many thanks go to Paula Butler, Angie Etzweiler, Melissa Hemling, and Siobhan Julian for their hours of work to revise and refine existing activities. This work took approximately 3.5 years. We met on Zoom every 2 weeks on the button. Throughout breaks, throughout summer, we met every 2 weeks for about an hour to an hour and a half. And So it took a lot of
That's
work,
great.
but it's very cool now that it's actually published. And honestly, I do kind of miss those meetings in a weird way.
Well, am I hearing version 2 potentially?
Well, yeah, it's kind of like, oh, there's nothing else to review?
Oh my goodness. Well, listen, I would be remiss if I didn't say, first of all, thank you and congratulations.
Thank
and
you.
thank you for representing Webster in such an amazing way. Some of us that were here will remember that actually we celebrated Siobhan a couple years ago
Yeah,
when
in
she won the
2018.
2018, when she was the National Poggle Teacher of the
Oh,
Year.
I'm sorry. That was 20, okay.
That was just 2 years
That
ago,
was a
wasn't
different award?
it? I know. You didn't know which one I was going to say, did you?
Yeah.
So-
Yeah,
so
in
proud of you.
2022, the Pogo Project
It
did
was
honor
3.
me.
Okay, it was 3
for-
years. I was
Yeah,
thinking it
it
was
did
2
honor
years
me
ago.
for some
Yeah.
work I did. And then back in 2018, the Science Teacher Association of New York State.
That was New York. I know.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Sorry.
So we have somebody very special here in front of us, and we are so proud of you. And thank you so much
Yep.
for everything you
And
do
thank you so much for
our
allowing me to
kids.
share this
Thank
work.
you, because I know how much you do
absolutely.
for our kids, and that's what's most important too. So thank you so much, Matt.
Campus News, Superintendent.
Oh yeah, all right, that's me. Sorry, I just got all excited. All right, I've got one item, and then I'll invite some friends up here in just a second. So my first item on our campus news is I wanted to begin by sharing an exciting upcoming event. On Thursday, March 27th, Webster Thomas and Webster Schrader Young Entrepreneurs Academy, or YEA, will conduct a Shark Tank-style presentation for an investor panel, which is made up of a group of community business partners who have each invested $700 towards student business proposals. So if we've got about 10 sharks there's usually about $7,000 that actually go to our student businesses. They do their pitches, and they say what it is that they're looking for and what they're going to spend the money on, and those are real dollars from our community partners, which is really, really neat. This event is the culmination of a year-long process where students learn about and build a business from scratch, including filing DBAs with the Monroe County Clerk's Office. At the investor panel event, students give a brief presentation in front of the investors explaining their product and the need for their product and its financials. After their presentation, student businesses field questions from the panelists, and at the conclusion of the event, funding allocations are awarded to the student businesses, with one of the businesses being selected to move on to the regional round. So they win here, and they'll move on to the regional round, which is at RIT. A few years back, we actually had a student that won the regional round and went on to nationals and took 4th in nationals. And so we've had some really great business concepts. That student actually got a full ride to RIT, and we ran into him. We were at RIT not too long ago, and he's still working on that concept, which is really neat. It's kind of like Uber meets the nursing world. So it was wild. But again, this is one of our highlights of the year, and I know that we're seeing some of those some of those slides right now from that event. But it's a great event. If you're not doing anything, or if you want to stream it live, be a great thing to check out. All right, now I am going to invite some friends up, and I'm going to do it a little different tonight. Why don't we do this in stages? We'll do elementary first, and then we'll bring up Blaine and Tiffany. We'll bring you guys secondary, and our operations up second, because I think we have some guests here with our elementary principal. Mr. Craig Bodensteiner is going to bring a few special people up. So, Mr. Bodensteiner, would you please come on up and introduce your guests for us? And a round of applause for our special guests. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Oh, no, you're good.
Very honored to have Miss Andrea and Miss Raylan help me with a presentation tonight in helping all of our elementary schools reach district goal number 1. We're going to talk a little bit about student leadership opportunities at the elementary level. All 7 of our buildings have 5th grade safety patrol members, would help out with kindergarten, the library, the PE teachers, the art room, et cetera, et cetera. Many of our buildings also have what's called care ambassadors. Think of an elementary version of student government without the president, the vice president, and the other hierarchy to help give some leadership opportunities. And then at Plank North, we're going to take a little bit of time. Thank you, Mr. Conley. all right, of talking about something specifically that we learned at State Road back in the day when I was an AP, and then we carried over at Plank North, which is our student-run post office at Plank North called the...
Pioneer Express
All right,
Post
well
Office.
played. You didn't even know that was coming. All right. So real quick, there are some bullet points up there, but again, I'm not sure, honestly, who enjoys the post office more. And what I mean by that, receiving a letter, either the students or the adults. So we have siblings write each other. We have kids write their former teachers, kids within their class. It's a way of kids staying connected at their grade levels, and even not at their grade levels they don't see, just because they're on the same bus, as an example. So those are some of the former reasons why, and a more politically correct version of why we do that from an educational point of view. We have 4 wings at Plank North, and each one think of as a neighborhood. So we have Pioneer Park, Career Heights, Storyville, and Warrior Way, and every student and adult in the building has addresses that helps them. There's stationery that's created, and the amount of work that is put in by our staff, and I'm going to highlight the staff that really puts this all together for us, for our students and our staff, doing amazing work. We've come a long way. We've become Google ties along with everything else. So instead of having binders in each room that has all the kids' addresses when I write somewhere, it's a Google file. And obviously our intermediate friends know how to access it with a little bit more TLC for my primary art teachers as well to help them out with that. It's an example of how they would address either an adult or a child in our school, the hallway, the community, and then address that's on there. And to help encourage and promote this, we have a stamp contest. So we have 2 sets of stamps. So for pre-K through 2nd grade, and then for grades 3 through 5. Miss Jordan loves this. She's our art teacher at Plank North because the art talent that we have in our building is amazing. So the kids will design it. I think this year we got Pride or Moose involved in the stamps, did we not?
Yeah.
Moose, yeah, Pride. All right. And the adults, there was a committee of adults that looked at the stamps. There's one of our former stamps that's actually up there back in the past that was a theme that we had as well. Now, the important people that are in the room. No disrespect to the Board of Education, Mr. Neenan, of course. I'm going to turn it over to first Miss Andrea, who's going to walk us through what our 4th graders have to do both for the application and the interview process.
Hi, my name is Andrea, and being a member of the Plank North 4th grade Pioneer Express Post Office is really fun. And so basically, when I heard about it, I figured out that I wanted to straight away be postmaster. And when they passed out the application, I signed everything on it. It asked me on a piece of paper what would make a good postmaster and my top 3 favorite jobs. And so I did everything on the application, and the next day I turned it in, and I was excited for the next thing, which was soon to be my interview. And so I got interviewed. When I got called up for an interview, I got nervous and excited at the same time. It's like I had butterflies in my stomach. And then I got interviewed with Mrs. Dirtinger. She asked me my favorite hobbies and stuff. And so I was excited when they finished. And about a week or so later, I got called up with Mr. Darling and Ray, and he took us to the lunchroom, the room like where the Pioneer Express happens, and he explained a lot of things, and then finally he told me I got postmaster, and I was really happy for me and Ray, and I think a lot of people would also be happy to see their job, and I wish it could happen all over again.
Aww.
And now I'm gonna pass it over to my good friend, the other postmaster, Ray.
I'm going to talk about the 5 jobs in the post. The first job is the postmaster. The postmaster has a key to unlock the mailbox. The postmaster collects and counts the mail to keep track of the mail every day. The mail is then given to the facer canceller. Next job is the facer canceller. The facer canceller flips the mail the right way Then they stamp the letter with a green stamp and shows that the letter went through the post office. Next job is the Nixie clerk. The Nixie clerk checks the stamp for proper mail format to make sure that the carrier can deliver the mail. If the mail is missing something or something is wrong, then the Nixie clerk stamps the letter with return to sender. Next job is the sorter. The sorter sorts the mail into a wooden mail sorter that is labeled with hallway and classroom. The last job is the carrier. The carrier gets the mail from the wooden mail sorter, then they deliver the mail to the classroom mailbox. Now I'm going to turn it back over to Mr. B.
Thank you, ladies. And I have you know they take their job very seriously, and even if the principal had one number off in the zip code, it gets returned to sender.
As it should.
Thank you, Mr. Neenan. So we have 58 fourth graders that went through the interview process that Ms. Andrea chatted about, and the interview application as well. So we currently have 58 of our fourth graders that are working in the post office, and we have 4 sections of fourth grade, and they each have it on for a month. And right now, our postmasters right now are in the process of training the next classes, and they'll just pay it for the next 3 groups that come out and work that way through that. And those are the 5 culprits and the victims in crime, Mrs. Provenzano, Mrs. Cavalieri, Mr. Darling, and Ms. King, and Mr. Gorski, that really are instrumental in putting this all together for our students and staff at Plank North. You guys were awesome. Any questions for the ladies, not for the principal?
So proud of you. What a great opportunity for kids. So thank you guys for making this opportunity for them. But great job. We're so happy that you're doing it and proud of you.
Ooh, that's hard.
One of your favorite parts.
Well, one of my favorite parts is like seeing everyone doing the work, and it's kind of like fun all together. And like, I think it would be like if I had like a better time doing it, or like, no, wait. I had a great time doing it, and I'm happy that, like, I'm sad that we're not doing it much anymore, because like you only get a month until you train the other class. But I'm also happy that they get the opportunity.
That's great. Yeah, well said. Well said. That's awesome.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you very much. Now we know to look at that. Look for that when we're over there next. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Now we're going to bring up our secondary administrator, Mrs. Tiffany Lawrence, one of our OWL administrators, and also Mr. Boyne Cunningham. If you could also join up here, and we'll hear a little bit about secondary and our operations side.
Hi, I'm Tiffany Lawrence. I'm the OWL administrator at Willink. And I have news from all over the district, some of which you may have kind of heard some of it already, but from more interesting people than me. So at Willink, we welcomed 5th grade students for Titan Day Junior, which was an inaugural transition program for next year's 6th graders. Web leaders and staff helped to run that program, and it went great. They saw students from Clem North and Clem South, and they will be welcoming Schlegel and DeWitt this week. They also were excited to recognize this month's character trait winners for integrity. So those are the bottom left is or bottom right are the kids who won for integrity. At Spry, during social studies, 6th and 7th grade Spry students received a presentation from guest presenter Keisha James on the impacts of bullying and the importance of empathy. Students were really engaged in class discussions to explore practical applications of those concepts within the Spry community. Webster Schrader brought back the hit Broadway musical Hadestown. which was a success. Class of 2025 senior lock-in was held overnight Thursday, January 23rd, through Friday morning, January 24th. And Schrader BBSU Student Council Rotary Club, NHS International Club also sponsored the school-wide door decorating contest to celebrate Black History Month. And the idea was to challenge students, organizations, team sports, or clubs to pick a door and decorate to show their creativity. At Thomas, they had a busy month celebrating Black History Month in the Media Center. I think some of the students spoke about that. But they shared art contributions, visual, written, spoken, and musical. A great event that everyone really enjoyed. The month closed with a nail biter for the basketball team against Schrader in the sectional semifinals. Thomas pulled out a double overtime win and then sadly lost to Penfield at the Big House, the Blue Cross Arena, on Saturday evening. That month, February, our extracurricular activities take center stage with esports teams, which I think we also heard about earlier, doing well in national and regional competitions. District Sparks team looks forward to a competition this weekend at RIT for the Finger Lakes regional competition. Many concerts, as were mentioned, because it's Music in the Schools Month, and the musical Legally Blonde. At Goal, they're working on ways to share gratitude and always are looking for ways to make sure that all of their students are highlighted with the outstanding work that they do. They try to support the Goal team in all of their endeavors, so they were looking to show gratitude throughout the program. The senior group made new nameplates for the Board of Education that are on display here. Yeah. And one of the sophomore students, Cody V, made a cutting board for his mom from a never-ending supply of old locker rooms, old locker room benches. And when he was asked to engrave on anything on the board, he just kept it simple and showed gratitude for his mom, which is sweet. Their junior and seniors took the challenge of door decorating for Black History Month very seriously and received gratitude for their work and design from within Goal and Schrader. One of their sophomores, Michael R., wanted to contribute and show his gratitude for his Goal experience in a way that touched the hearts of the teachers. So they took some time to discuss budget challenges with the students and the ideas of tightening our belts. And he brought in a large box of pencils for each teacher to try and help out for that budget crunch, which was really sweet. Finally, the Goal team is very tight and tried to support each other. And last month, the entire team went to see Mr. Tracy Holly, the art and technology teacher, play with his new band in Fairport. So outside of school, besides being an accomplished musician, Tracy also coordinates Heroes on the Water, which is an organization that takes veterans out fishing and kayaking in the summer. So they're thankful for his commitment to Goal and for his outside endeavors. Owl Middle had a lot of learning squeezed into the short month of February. We were learning about figurative language, using different reading comprehension strategies, and studying dystopian literature. We are in the middle of 2 service learning projects, one of which is connected to one of the readings that 7th graders are doing, and one of which is connected to our field trip that we go on tomorrow to Lollipop Farm. So we're gathering some items for those projects. In the pictures, you're going to see 7th graders learning about mixtures in one of the pictures, with 6th graders learning about microscopes. So we just have a ton of academic work happening all the time in Owl Middle. In social emotional learning class, they were learning about communication styles, social media use, and practicing all of those skills in the classroom. And one of our TAs, who was also a Webster parent, won a Spirit Scepter Award in the building, which is like just a celebration of the energy and spirit she brings to the whole Willink community. So that was a big thing too, to be recognized in the building. Owl High is our last one. Owl High has been enjoying some new elective options for students this second semester. So they were fortunate to add an introduction to photography as an elective. And you can see 2 students working with a camera, with Mrs. Barnabas, maybe? Am I wrong? Where's Joni? Am I right?
Yep.
Okay. I was like, I didn't read that one too closely. You can see some hands-on learning opportunities that their students are participating in, including a wall of literacy terms with students' names included. Over the years, they hope to continue to add more names as kind of a time capsule for Owl High graduates. PE classes have been focusing on personal fitness, and students can be seen doing cardio exercises while learning the role of the heart in physical activity. And finally, they are proud of their student who participated in the upcoming, or is a participant in the upcoming Thomas musical, Legally Blonde. And that's it for me.
Just a little going on.
It's a lot of stuff.
All right, we'll move it over to Blaine.
All right, good evening. One of the One Webster's board goals this year was to make sure the improvements to any of our facilities include priority around curriculum and health and safety. So I thought I would share with you tonight the numerous certifications that the people in CCMA, buildings and grounds, cleaners, custodians, and security hold, and then what we do with those certifications, with the numerous inspections and mandates that we have to complete, and how we make impact for the health and safety of the school district. So with the help of Genesee Valley Health and Safety, which we work closely with, and a lot of our vendors, some of the certifications that we hold, we have 6 CDL operators at the current time. With the amount of snow that we had this year, I'm sure glad we had 6. We also have asbestos awareness and handling license. We have EPA-led renovation and repair license or training. We have a pesticide applicator. We actually have several on our team, but we use IPM, Integrated Pest Management, so we use minimal only when needed, particularly around pest on the outside. We do AED and CPR training for a lot of our staff. We have certified pool operators with having 2 pools. It's mandated that we have people that can run and operate that. So we have numerous people on that we can plug and play in when every weekend use of the WAC and things of that nature, so we can keep that going. Fork truck certification with our new warehouse and all the heavy loads, and we don't have lift gates everywhere in the district. We have numerous certified people with that. Security people have 8-hour annual security guard license. That's something they do every year. We're trained in bloodborne pathogens and hazardous communication, which is the health and safety data sheet. Though that training is mandated, we excessively trained in that simply recently with COVID and all that, the high contact cleaning. We reinforced that, have numerous people that not only took the initial that is mandated, but took extra courses on that to understand, to fight the pandemic that we did. Energy management training, that is not just heating and cooling, but also door access. So that's a safety component where we have numerous people on our staff that is highly trained on that. And last but not least is game time playground installation. So basically we have people on our staff to install the playgrounds themselves. If there's components that are broken, you have to be certified to do that, so we have that taken care of. So with these certifications, I want to give a shout out to the Genesee Valley Health and Safety team, because like I said, they're crucial to our day-to-day operation on our health and safety, and plus all our vendors. We complete these mandates. These mandates are there's not only mandates, but there's things that we do above and beyond just to make our campus safer. First and foremost, there's the building condition survey. We do that with our current architect every 5 years. What that does, it looks structurally, it looks at how long fabric or material will last, so we can plan accordingly for budgeting purposes. And also looks at future instruction needs, as things grow, as the curriculum change. So that's another component that is part of that. Every 11 months, with our Webster Fire Marshal and our Penfield Fire Marshal, we have to do fire inspections. We have a yearly nicer insurance reciprocal inspection. It takes several days as they go around and view our district, make recommendations of how to make the district safer. Every 6 months, we need to complete an asbestos inspection. And then once every 3 years, we have an asbestos management plan that we have to file with the state, and that was just completed last month. Eye washes get inspected monthly. Yearly elevator inspections or climbing walls in our PE spaces, that they get completed yearly. GMAX on our turf, which is basically to tell us if our turfs are compacted and what we need to do to brush them to keep them compliant and safe for the kids for concussions. That is done yearly. Kitchen and fuel island suppressions in our kitchens and in our fuel islands at transportation and buildings grounds are done yearly. Fire system inspections, all pool stations, all smoke heads, every 6 months they get inspected to make sure that they're working. We complete 8 fire drills and 4 lockdown drills per year in order to get our C of O. Neil Flood and his crew do the Ed inspections biannually. We test fume hoods in our science lab for when those chemicals are being used. We want to make sure we have enough. The volumeters that we use will test the airflow, make sure you have CFM to pull the chemical out. Vehicle lift inspections, not only at B&G, but at the shops, at the schools, and then at transportation. We have yearly bleacher inspections, both inside and outside. Boiler inspection is done once every year with our insurance company and our HVAC staff. And then our backflow prevention inspection, that is also done yearly. Last but not least, every 3 years we have to do potable water testing. Now, we're going to start that again this spring. I think I spoke a little bit about it before. The mandate went from 15 parts per million down to 5 parts. So we are working rigorously to make sure that we meet those goals and things are going well with that. So there's more information to that come once testing comes back. Okay, Paul, if you can one more. All right, probably the biggest thing I want to speak of is years ago we had a program called Tools for Schools. It's a program that was funded by the EPA. We did a lot of training in our staff, and I'm going to tell you, our HVAC staff, our plumbing staff, even our preventive maintenance staff has exceeded expectations in terms of training for this, to make sure ventilation is working properly. This is really what got us through the pandemic, making sure we have air exchanges, making sure filters are working properly, and also just to put people at ease with any concerns that they might have. So once again, not only internal our staff, but with the assistance of Genesee Valley BOCES Health and Safety, we were able to complete these assessments as needed. So that is what I have for you tonight. Thank you. And if anybody has any questions.
Just a few things going on, I know there. It's incredibly impressive. It really is. I mean, the mandates and the inspections are one thing, but the certifications, I think, often get forgotten. I mean, we think about our drivers. We think about the things that they have to always constantly do for safety and security, but we don't always think about some of our other operations side people that have to keep up with their certifications in order for us to keep everything moving in this huge organization and going forward in a positive way. Yeah. Kudos to both you and to Neil and your leadership for that. It's much appreciated. To Craig, to Tiffany, and to Blaine, and on behalf of thank you very much for your leadership and presentation tonight. And on behalf of us, that's our campus news for tonight.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We can have our fine arts people come on up if you want to get set up.
I will turn things over to Erin to introduce whoever she's going to introduce as they're coming up.
Musicals and art shows and plays and concerts as our definition of fine arts. But our Director of Fine Arts, Michael Roller, works tirelessly to support the whole department, not only with the end, but also the beginning and everything in between. So I am proud to be part of a community that celebrates the creation, the appreciation of, and the joy of fine arts. It's been important in my life, and I'm so glad that we're able to offer that to our students in our community. So with that, Michael, I'll let you talk a little bit about the departments.
All right. Thanks for that great start. All right, so happy Youth Art Month and Music in Our Schools Month. You've been hearing a little bit about that from a lot of news this evening. I'm going to keep things moving quickly. I am joined by two Webster staff members here that are as parent representatives, and they'll introduce themselves in a little bit. All right, in honor of the Advocacy Month that we're in, I'd like to start by acknowledging many student achievements. As you know, we annually have over 100 events and shows for our student musicians and artists to showcase everything that we have going on in our instructional offerings in the district. For our music students who take all their classroom experiences and go above and beyond, we've had almost 500 students audition for all county, regional, and state level honor groups with 173 musicians in grades 4 through 12 participating in elite ensembles in the county and across the state. From your visits to our buildings, hopefully you have noticed hallways filled with bulletin boards and display cases showcasing the proud work of our students. I know with parent-teacher conferences this month, we're going to have families walking up and down the hallways, smiling for all the efforts that our students are doing in the building block years in elementary school, and that also bodes well for the potential in their future that they have in creating in our district. At the other end of the continuum, we had 162 students combined from Schrader and Thomas who submitted 268 individual pieces and 2 portfolios for adjudication in the 2024 Scholastic Art Competition. And 87 student artworks were recognized with awards, including 1 Gold Key portfolio and 10 Gold Key individual pieces. And these students are now being considered for national recognition that we'll find out about in June. I'd also like to acknowledge the creativity of our staff, who themselves network with a wide array of artists and musicians that exist in the greater Rochester community. We're really blessed to have so much happening in this region. What better way to show our students what they can do after 13 years with us, beyond our walls, by showcasing this is just a condensed list of the guests, residencies, performances, collaborations that have been taking place and will for the rest of the year, and many of them you may have seen in social media and newsletters, and our district communications team is just great in getting all of this out, so I really appreciate that. All right, at this time, I'm going to turn things over.
Hi. Everybody, thank you so much for having us, and thank you, Michael, for asking us. I'm Stacy Peters. I am one of the co-chairs for Community Arts Day, and this is Amy Shaver. We're really excited to be taking over for Community Arts Day this year. It's such a privilege. My mother, I told her I was coming tonight, and I just have to show you this. This is my artwork from 3rd grade at Clem South that my mom had saved with my 2nd place ribbon.
Yes,
so like
wonderful.
I was like,
So
my mom's
proud
like,
of
you
you.
have got to bring this, and so it shows how much Community Arts Day truly means to our district, because, not to date myself, but this is going back a long time ago in 1982.
awesome.
So I
think you should display that this year.
Oh, no. No, I don't even know like what I drew. I don't even know. So, but Amy and I are honored to take on this role truly. Each year since 1976, Community Arts Day has recognized creativity through displays and performances by Webster students. And that's all the way from like UPK up to our seniors. And I think the one thing, since Amy and I have took this on, we have realized how much behind the scenes there is. I have chaired at the buildings before, but never been ahead of PTSA with Community Arts Day, and it's a lot. There's a lot of committees. We have 16, actually, subcommittee, coordinators, and 11 building reps. So each of our buildings has a representative that will put posters up in the building, will get volunteers, everything to just make this day a success. And I think Amy and I have discovered, like, it's a lot, because you're having one person that's taking on a sweet treat role, that's in charge of being there the day before, getting everything done. I'd be truly amiss if I didn't say Jeff Germano, his team at Schrader, the janitors, custodians, the food services, like just everybody is just amazing to work with. And so we have really seen, besides our team, how much more comes into it with the building. We have a person, Jim Loeffner, who's amazing. He actually has a map of Schrader with like all of the outlets. And when we get lists in from vendors and people who want to be on it, he's the one that takes a look at Schrader, the big picture, and is like, okay, you're going to go here, you're going to figure out this. And so I think I was naive in the fact that I was like, wow, like I didn't really know we had this much invested in stuff. And truly, it's a great thing. We have students running the talent show. We have sweet treats. I'm trying to think of who else. Am I missing anybody else? Who else? We have forms. Somebody goes out for sponsorships, which is, going into our community and asking for sponsorships, because we try to do a lot of this with, not having to go into our budget to be able to give money back to the district for community events, singers, author visits, all that good stuff. I think, let's see, in total we have people networking and energizing, probably over 200 parent volunteers and student service scholars to help run Community Arts Day smoothly. So it's a huge undertaking.
And wanted to make mention of one other individual who I tried convincing to stand in, be part of this evening. We have Jenny Hurhenko, who, when I looked at all the Community Arts Day signups for the 10 years that I've been doing this position, she was on every one. She was a building rep at Schlegel and Plank Road and Willink and Thomas as her children grew up. She was many of the subcommittees that you mentioned, and for 6 years was co-chair or individual chair of the event. And dedication like that is one of the reasons why it's been around since 1976. So I just would like to thank Jenny and others like her that have dedicated really their whole family's upbringing in the district to recognizing the importance of the day. And it's more than just that day. It's a culmination of all kinds of work, but a celebration of the arts that we have, and it's definitely unique.
I'm Amy Shaver. I also am the co-chair, and Stacy is definitely my better half. We make a beautiful team. I was asked to speak about the updates that we have for 2025. If you have been to CAD in the last few years, we still plan to have the nuts and bolts of everything, but we are planning, as we reach out, to make some grand changes over the next couple of years. So just wanted to highlight some of the things that we do have coming forward. We did move to May this year, and while it seems like an original obstacle, we took it as a great challenge because the sun will be out, it will be warm. Schrader has fabulous, what do you call them?
Oh, courtyards.
Courtyards. The flowers will be out. It is Mother's Day weekend, and so we are tying together a lot of the flowers. The monarch butterflies is one of our themes for One Arts. So it's very exciting to us to kind of see an obstacle and hop over it. This year we're also using Cheddar Up, which is an online website that we can use to promote the event, as well as receive registrations for certain items, as from sign up to registration, and to also collect money. So it's become a very more seamless event, but we still respect that people don't like technology, so we're still paper. Many of us also decided that we wanted to make this a much higher event with the arts in our communities. So we are considering moving our craft vendors into a different location, because in past years we've had between 7 and a dozen, sometimes 16, sometimes 8. It wobbles. And as this has only been up for 1 month, and we currently to date have 26 vendors, 26 craft vendors. 15 exhibitors, 3 performers that are outside Webster Central, and 4 sponsors that we are greatly indebted to. With this bigger and better arts and crafts presence, we are planning to seek more demonstration of crafts, like 5-minute crafts in the library. by the vendors and by our arts clubs. We are celebrating Webster Theater, which has not been on the stage for our community in some time for CAD. So while we have the music, the arts on display, the orchestra, chorus, and band, we decided that we wanted to add the theater into the mix. We don't know how we're all going to do it, but that's okay. We have one more month.
We have plans.
We have plans. We have big plans. We bumped up the plant sale, combining it with the plant sales that are in the schools because, well, another obstacle. Community Arts Day this year is also the same week as Staff Appreciation, which was also most of our schools' plant sales. We couldn't have them double booked and be redundant, so they all said that we would be able to have the plant sale, the $1 Sunscape at CAD, which also includes, let's just make it bigger and better. So the flower person has now befriended the One Arts Webster person, and they're doing this whole project on monarchs, protecting the monarchs. Oh, and then they decided to do this whole STEM festival in there and figuring out science in the monarchs and planting milkweed and selling that. And I was like, I love you all. This is so great. This is what community is.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you give somebody an idea and they go running wild with it. So I'm really, really honored to work with these amazing humans. Soon you'll be receiving, or the schools will be receiving little kits about the monarch butterflies, connected with science, and having the students produce an artwork. And instead of just having it on display where the students fabulously get to go and find their artwork, she's planning on having swarms. I don't want to give too much.
We want everybody to be surprised.
I know. So, little spoiler alert, there'll be swarms of butterflies along the walls. And how we can help protect them and why. We are bringing back the carnival, which was absent for just 1 year, and we are also considering in 2026 bringing a Webster Central staff and faculty art exhibit.
Oh.
Because we have some
Stay tuned.
amazing talent.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Wow.
Yes.
I might give you all canvas.
Oh, very good.
The end.
And we all have to compete with Stacy?
We are going to put that up next year too.
Yes. Yes.
Ms. Garitano says yes. So we have a meeting to scoot to actually
Yes.
No, thank you.
in negative
Yes,
minute.
Thank you.
But if you have any questions, we're going to allow Michael to
That's
answer them
awesome.
for us.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Carole.
Oh, thank you.
Definitely.
And we just want to do a shout out to Jenny as well because she, really was phenomenal. And
Yeah.
Amy and I were like, oh my gosh, we have big shoes to fill. So she's just,
For sure.
she's super, and hopefully we'll do her justice. But yeah, so I'm glad you honored her because it's well deserved.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you,
you
everybody.
both
Have a
very
good night.
much. And we'll look out for those swarms.
Right. And then we'll be talking more about that later because there's a planning meeting tonight with CAD.
Oh, spectacular.
So a little bit instructional here to set up some student guests that we have in the audience with us this evening. So in order to make the public sharing of our creative process in the classroom possible, our teachers need to be rooted in decision-making that will continually examine their practices. Within our district conversation regarding literacy, the fine arts have done our own reflecting on the current and desired state of alignment of music and art literacy, including vocabulary use and best practices to serve our wide range of learners. By using our superintendent's conference days, professional learning community time within the workday, and attending conference and release day opportunities, our fine arts staff have curated numerous resources that champion their collective knowledge. And I constantly want us all to remember that some of the best learning and leadership is within our own staff. And when given the time, there's so many well-informed decisions regularly occurring within our instructional teams. And this is a very small version of it, a little bigger up there, but smaller here, that is just a little bit of the curated resources that our staff is putting together. So be happy to chat about it over a cup of coffee with anybody if you want to learn more on it. Also, our standards, of course, are from our content area help outline for us a way for our students to fully express themselves and to interact with artistic language in many different ways. So again, as a goal of literacy within the fine arts, we've really been digging into that. Our teachers have a variety of opportunities for students to know more about how to represent, identify, combine, and apply what they've learned. And that certainly serves to only enhance the performances and displays that we see out in the community, but there's so much more behind the scenes. All right, with every good lesson plan, to get some students up here, I have a little transition slide for you. And unfortunately, the students who are going to be singing this are at the Kaleidoscope concert this evening, but they are here in spirit with a little recording thanks to the magic of Mr. Conley. And it's also on your place card if you want to follow along with the lyrics a little bit. I'll try that again.
Hold on, Paul, get it. Don't fear. Paul's here.
Yeah, we heard it earlier.
And I am not the outcome when all ends. My story you'll discover goes much deeper than the cover, and I'm about to show what I can do. Take away the faulty first impressions. I remain beyond your preconceptions. You have to look much further than what's right beneath your nose. And if you take a longer view, you'll see how far it goes. Watch me show my colors. I am like no other. Leave your old conclusions at the door. Just below the surface, I am bold and fearless. Look again, I promise you will see. There is so much more to me. There are things about me you don't know, and I am full of wonders I don't show. Open up your eyes, I'm like the sun about to rise. Though I can shine, you've only seen me glow. You may find I'm not what you expected. I don't mind if you need to be corrected. There are some surprises you uncover over time. And when the chance arises, you'll discover some of mine. Watch me show my colors. I am like no other. at the door, just below the surface. I am bold and fearless. Look again, I promise you will see. There's so much more, so much more to me.
So another little example of, the power of text to any kind of a song, but really the importance of the arts, and when you've gained the language to be able to express yourself and also recognize it in others. I think that's just something that is encompassing within what we do, and sets these four ladies up for sharing a little bit about their journey in learning throughout our art and music classrooms, literacy, and what it means for their future.
All right, with that, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Claudia Benitez, and I'm a junior at Webster Schrader High School, and I'm here representing the officers in Tri-M. Being literate in the fine arts means seeing the world differently. All you have to do is look around. We're drowning in images and videos. Being art smart can help you actually understand what you're seeing instead of just scrolling past it. You'll be able to tell what's actually worth your time, what's trying to manipulate you, and what's just an amazing creation of the visual and musical world.
Hi, my name is Kaylee. I'm a junior at Thomas, representing the Tri-M Music Honor Society. Being literate in the fine arts helps you to level up your skills. Art and music classes aren't just simple electives. Think about it. Creativity, problem solving, teamwork, and communication. These skills are essential for all your classes, college, careers, basically your entire life. In combination with everything in our schedules, the arts help you be better at it all.
Hi everyone, my name is Cassie Spencer and I am a senior at Webster Thomas representing the officers in National Art Honor Society. We all have stuff going on inside and sometimes words just don't cut it. The arts give you a way to show what you're feeling, whether it's through sculpting, singing, painting, or playing an instrument. In those moments, it helps increase your awareness and understanding of yourself and those around you.
My name is Atalia Perez. I'm a junior at Webster Schrader High School, representing the officers of National Art Honor Society. Art and music from different cultures and time periods are like a window into other people's lives. It helps you see things from different perspectives and make you more open-minded to everything in our world. Let's be honest, the arts just make life more enjoyable.
We agree.
A little into my personal experiences with the Webster music community. For me, I am a part of the concert band at Webster Schrader, and I'm also part of the One Webster marching band, as well as the One Webster pep band, which is new this year, and I'm totally loving it. Through these activities and programs, I have really cultivated my passion for music, and I've grown and seen how the community has come together in support of everyone. For the very first time this year, I went to the Firemen's Parade, and for the first time this year, I went to boys and girls, Thomas and Schrader varsity basketball games, which was awesome because I got to see the athletic part of the school, and I was able to support my fellow students and classmates. And so through that, I was really able to gain a better knowledge of what it means to be in the music community and how it can really connect everyone and everything in it, and how it really flows through all that we do, whether it's going to a musical, going to see a concert, or going to see a parade. Everyone is there, and it brings people together.
In my experience, being involved in the music program at Thomas has really helped me to learn better teamwork, communication, and problem solving with my fellow classmates. In my life, I do mostly solo activities. I've played piano most of my life, which I always am on my own with that. I did Irish dance, which is almost completely a solo activity, and I run track, which, again, unless you're in a relay, you're pretty much an individual. So being in the music program and engaging with others through the orchestra, I'm a violinist, really helped me to focus on or learn and develop the skills of communication with my peers, whether that's in rehearsal when we're talking over bowings and techniques, and musical interpretation, trying to find some common agreement so that we can sound cohesive as an orchestra. I've really developed those skills of problem solving and collaboration.
So I am involved in several AP core classes, a foreign language, band, and somehow managed to find balance in my life. Some of these core classes, not to call out math and science, but they're very structured courses where there are right and wrong answers. There are right and wrong ways how to do things. But for me, in art, there's never a right way to do something or to interpret something. I have always struggled with perfectionism with basically everything I do inside and outside of school, but art has given me the opportunity to explore the beauties in imperfection. Art is about the process and not just about the end result. It's about the struggles and the challenges that you've had to work through that truly make your artwork beautiful in the end and that can showcase who you truly are. Different forms of artwork are different for everybody too, so you can express yourself in different ways through different forms of art, and that's what I truly think is beautiful. Because since it's so subjective to everyone, there's a loose interpretation, and you can feel a certain way about a piece, and somebody else could also, and it can help you find yourself. In the future, I hope to continue to explore all parts of who I am, especially through the beauty of art, because that is something that is very important to me, and it is important to how I express myself as a person.
Do I restate my name? Sorry, I'm Atalia. I was told as a child that art is a universal language, and I take that into everything I do in my life. I think that art is necessary where words fail. Being a semi-introverted person, it can be hard to make friends and build experiences, and I think that art really brings us together. I have taken 7 art classes during my time at Webster Schrader. I've participated in the musical and the choirs and voice classes, and throughout all of these, I have found lifelong friends and mentors. During this time, I'd like to highlight the art teachers at our school, Miss O'Hara, Mr. Golden, Miss Simon last year. She's on a break, but she was here last year. Mrs. Zalewski and Mrs. Zoltulski. They have all been wonderful mentors to me, and I can speak for everyone in my school when I know that people find comfort in their rooms. Whenever I am stressed or overwhelmed, which is often in school, I find solace in their rooms and in their care. I think that experiences in art have made me a better person, a better friend, and a better student.
Well said. Very nice. I know it.
All right. This is the last part, I promise. All right. I read an article recently by Board of Regents Chancellor Lester Young, where he stresses the importance of arts education. He states, arts education fosters the creativity and mental flexibility our students will need to succeed in today's economy. Chancellor Young describes how students who engage in artistic endeavors bring new ways of looking at a problem, can think in creative and divergent ways, and are able to have a deeper understanding of our shared humanity, which I think 4 ladies this evening have expressed in their own words as well. I feel blessed to know I serve a community here in Webster that also believes in Chancellor Young's desire to have the power of arts education felt by all of our students. Thank you for your continued support of our program, and to our students for coming this evening, and to our PTSA as well, who I'll be running off to the meeting in a few minutes. So thank you for your time. I know we ran over a little bit.
No, you're good. Thank you.
You guys have any questions? Or?
That's good.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys, very much. I'll go grab mine in the hallway then.
No, no problem. And with that, can I have a motion to approve tonight's instruction report as presented?
So moved.
So moved. Linda, second. Carol, all in favor? Aye. Thank you. And on to board business. Yeah.
Your mic's on.
It's all right. Freeman knows.
Hot mic,
This
hot
is.
mic.
That's all right.
I know, it's all good.
I didn't hear anything. I still got an ear infection.
She said it just like that too. Back to this.
No offense, but this is part of it. Yeah.
All right, first up is the treasurer's report for the month of January.
We had two, yeah.
I just wanted to point out one thing on the treasurer's report that kind of stands out. If you've noticed over the years, our New York State Star payment always arrives in January, and it's about $400,000 less than last year. That is a planned elimination as people move and switch to the rebate check. So we no longer get the Star reimbursement like we used to. It's about $3 million less than when I started 10 years ago because of that, and that program has really accelerated. So we lose about $500,000 of that revenue. So you'll see that every year get smaller and smaller and smaller. So I just wanted to point that out because that, $400,000 was, a fairly sizable shift this year from people getting the direct rebate on their bill to getting the check now in the mail. So just wanted to point that out on the treasurer's report for everybody. You'll see that.
Questions? Okay, that motion to approve the January 25 treasurer's report as presented. Jeff, so move. Second. Dave, all in favor? Aye.
All right, next up, we had a bid opening about a month ago now, February 13th, at the Buildings and Grounds Warehouse. So this one's a little bit more complicated, and we'll try to break it down because you have 3 resolutions to approve tonight. So we opened up the bids. Bids were very good. They came in under budget. So we were able to award all the alternates that we had planned for. So that was great, favorable pricing. So the issue came to be is how the bids were actually filled out. So you see in the backup that I provided, I highlighted in red 2 of the bids, one on the site work, which is the very last page, and one on the plumbing, which is, I believe, on page 4. There's 2 resolutions. We have to reject both those bids. Now, they came in as the low bidder, but they did not properly fill out the alternate. And because the bids were good, we're accepting all the alternates. So they were given a chance to withdraw their bids, but neither company did that. So we have to pass the resolution rejecting the apparent low bidder for site work due to noncompliance. So that's resolution 1. And then because it happened again on the plumbing contract, we have to do the resolution to reject that low bidder as well. And then the final resolution is approving the final slate of contractors and their low bids all at the same time. So a bit of a unique situation. It does happen every now and then. Somebody doesn't fill something out correctly and their bid has to get tossed. Usually they realize and withdraw within 24, 48 hours. But that did not happen this time. And it happened twice, which is somewhat unique as well. So questions on that one?
If I got it, everybody did then. I'm just saying.
I'm assuming we have to vote on all 3 separately.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
It's not a roll call or anything like that, just all 3
just all
separate
3
resolutions.
separately.
Yep.
Okay. All right, then with that, a motion to approve Resolution 1, which is to reject the non-responsive bid for capital construction project. So move, David. Second, Jeff. All in favor? Aye. Motion number 2 is to approve Resolution number 2, which is rejecting non-responsive bid for capital construction project. So move, Carole. Second, Linda. All in favor? Aye. And then the third one, motion to approve resolution number 3, awarding contracts for capital construction project. So moved. David, thank you. Second, Maria. All in favor? Aye.
Alrighty. Next up is another somewhat complicated resolution as well. That's kind of, we're just, should say, circling back to. Probably about 5-6 years ago now, the law changed where pilots for, or exemptions, excuse me, for solar and wind energy systems, things like that, alternate energy systems, had some exemption status. So we passed a resolution years ago saying, nope, we're not partaking. So that way, if case a solar field or company came in, we would have negotiation rights over a pilot on that. A couple years later, the law actually changed to include, as outlined here, some new energy sources. So hydroelectric, fuel cell technologies. So the law had a technical change. So we have to reapprove the resolution with that technical change in it now going forward. It's something that, we missed a few years back. It wasn't something we're really paying attention to. There was a slight technical change in the law after we did our resolution to include some other technologies.
So essentially, nothing has changed. You're just redoing it.
Yep, to cover all the other kind of forms of alternate energy.
Yourself with the law is what we're doing. And Brian and I are aware that the town actually did this as well, but they actually approved theirs just after the law changed, so they don't have to do it again. But,
Right.
So they
but they are in the same boat. The town and the school districts are both in the same exact position on this.
By opting in, this allows us to self-negotiate.
Correct.
I didn't hear that. What was it?
It allows us to negotiate. So if a company comes in, they want to do a solar field, they would have to put forward their intent to do that, and then we'd start negotiations on a pilot arrangement. These do not go through how we did the pilots. These do not go through COMITA. They're entirely separate.
Different. Yeah.
Different. They're different, yeah.
Any other questions? All right, motion to approve the updated energy resolution. So move. Linda, second. Dave, all in favor? Aye. Okay. BOCES.
All right, next up, we're doing something a little different with Mr. Flood and Safety and Security. While we were talking budget, every year we do an allocation for security camera replacement. And I guess for the lack of a better term, we've done some hodgepodging with security cameras. Some of it's been part of our operating budget. Some we've done through capital when it's been available. We did some through Smart Bond Act. If you remember that, 2014, 15, we did a large chunk of security cameras with the Smart Bond money. So we're just looking at the technology and it's updating, and also the clocks right here, as well as incorporated into that system. So we're trying to been, allocating money every single year. So when we were looking at it and having some conversations, I actually planned it out. Like, all right, what is our yearly allocation that we give to Mr. Flood and Mr. Zimmer for technology on that budget line item? And we're like, you know what? They last a little bit longer. Let's take a look at what the lease terms would be. So if we do this over 5 years, we could do it for the same exact price and replace almost everything simultaneously. So it just made smart financial sense to look at this. So that is what we are doing. We're actually taking it out of our budget. It's still in the budget. We're just shifting what we allocate to now doing this with BOCES on a lease cycle basis.
So that means every 5 years they come in and
Yep.
redo? Okay.
Just like the Chromebooks
and everything else.
and everything else. It's the same exact concept. It's now, but these will last 5 years. So we're doing it over 5 years versus the computers on the 3-year cycle.
Yep.
So Brian, explain the benefit again.
The benefit is in essence, we get more upfront because BOCES upfronts everything for us, but spreads the payment out over 5 years. That's the main benefit, and we get aid on the interest costs. So like if we went to get a car payment, you know, you're paying interest. In essence, we're getting an interest loan through BOCES, but because it's through BOCES, we get state aid on all of it.
Yep. All right, so it's really the benefits of state aid part.
Yeah, that's a huge part, and the upfront. They give it to us all in the first year, and so we get the most bang for our buck there.
Got it. I'm with you.
Who's responsible for maintenance and breakage of any of the equipment? Are they or we?
BOCES.
BOCES.
It's their equipment.
Yeah, nice.
Do they do this with every district?
Some districts do it, some don't. They have different kind of philosophies. This one's probably pretty unique. I don't think anybody's thought about doing it this way like we have. We do, I will say, from Webster's perspective, I see Mrs. Land nodding her head, we probably push BOCES the most on these lease arrangements to try to get as much upfront as we can every time on the technology side.
Okay, good. Very creative. I like it.
Thanks, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
All right, motion to approve the BOCES lease part 2. So moved. Maria, second. Michele, all in favor? Aye. All right. Budget
All right.
vote.
Next up is just our standard published legal notice for the annual district meeting and budget vote. So this is what you'll see, that our district clerk, Heather Murphy, will be running in the Webster Herald on several occasions as outlined at the top, but this is just starts our repetitive process of replaying the notification. We also have a big disclaimer on the website as well.
Questions? No? All right, motion to approve the legal notice for the annual election and budget vote on Tuesday, May 20th. So moved, Carole, second. Linda, all in favor? Aye.
And then the last part for me is the simple resolution just to set the voting hours on the 20th day of May from 6 to 9 at Webster Schrader High School.
Questions? No. All right, we met our new voting machines last week,
Yep.
so that was good. All right, motion to approve the resolution establishing the hours of the annual district meeting on Tuesday, May 20th, 2025. So moved, Jeff, thank you. Second, Maria, all in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
Perfect, thank you. We met them, well, you know what I meant. It's been a long week. It's only Tuesday. Hey, I'm here, that's the good news, okay. Anywho, policy updates, this is our first read, this was a new one that came to us. It's a notification of disclosure of employee disciplinary records, it's an update to the FOIL law. It's our first read tonight, so if anyone has any questions. Nope, seeing none. Motion to approve the first reading of the proposed new policy 3311 and move it to a second reading at our next meeting. So move, Linda, thank you. Second. Dave, all in favor? Aye. Okay. Last but not least.
Yeah, we have not made any changes to this, but I guess just for purpose of reiterating what this accomplishes is, for us, it's 4 snow days / emergency days. I think I'd really rather say it that way, and I think that's an important part for our community to understand is we don't just deal with snow anymore. We deal with wind. We deal with cold. We deal with hot. We deal with a lot of different things. And so I think it's just important that the community understands that that's what we have built into this. So, any questions?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
usually,
Yeah, 4,
Yeah.
yep.
2 weeks at Christmas. That's why
And then,
she's
yeah,
here.
it
It's
also
not for
has the
me.
2 weeks at the holiday break. It has the Monday after the April break. And that's it though, right? I think there was those pieces. Yeah. So it accomplishes, I think,
The
the
Monday
things. Oh, and the
after break
Wednesday
is
before
nice.
Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Okay. Questions? No? None? All right, motion to approve the second reading of the 25-26 school calendar year to make it official. So moved. Dave, second. Carole, all in favor? Aye. All right, that brings us to board member highlights. So this is where we get a chance to highlight any of the events that we've been to in the last month and maybe anything coming up, although we got a lot of information from everybody else about up and coming. If anyone has anything they want to share about the last month.
We visited Lake North.
Yep, somebody did.
It's the best thing I do. And we got a hug. It is absolutely the best thing. And I actually have to be pulled out of classrooms. I get in there
She
and
does.
I sit
True
down
story.
and I just,
Best.
I don't know. It makes me want to do school again.
Wow.
Is what I could say. Because I feel like, I think I would have learned better if I went
As
through
a
this-
student,
No, if I
Oh,
could
I
like
thought you meant
flip
teaching.
back in time and attend
Student.
Plank North or one of our other schools,
Yeah.
I think the type of learner I am or was would have done, I wouldn't have had my hair pulled, et cetera. But it's so enchanting to me. It really is enchanting.
Agreed, yeah.
And it just makes me want to do this work. Yeah.
And it's fun to hear the student voice, too.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
The
and-
tiniest learners.
they're so precious and it's so eager. Yeah.
Admit it, Carole, you like the reading tunnel.
Oh, yeah, in the
That's right.
library.
Oh, yes. That's right. I know. I forgot. That's good.
And the book vending machine.
Yeah.
Oh,
all of
yeah.
it.
That's great.
Yeah. I just wish everybody could see it. We're really privileged to do that.
Anybody else?
The only update that I have is a number of us went to Albany last week to do some advocacy work. So I think it's really important for people to know that we as a board this year have worked really hard on building our relationships with our legislators. I know Brian has met a number of times. We've gone to the legislative breakfast. We've been in Albany. It's really important, especially now with the times that we're going into, that we maintain these relationships and we speak about our needs as a district, because we're finding that, even though our enrollment is declining or it's stable, it's down from where it was 10 or 15 years ago, the needs of the students are so much more, they're greater, and therefore what it costs to educate a child is so much more. And so I think going to Albany and speaking with our legislators who don't have a background in education, I think it's really helping. So I think we have to keep doing that, because public education is the greatest equalizer, and 95% of our kids go through public education. So we need to continue to advocate for fair funding. So.
Yeah, I'll just add that the other thing that we build with that is the network and the relationship, because there's been many times when they pick up the phone and call us when they've got a question, which is what we're hoping for, and we're hoping to build that kind of connection so that we can explain things from our perspective, of how it affects kids and how it affects our district.
Well, and it helps meet our goal of telling our story.
Correct.
Yeah,
That's
great.
our role in that goal of ours of telling our story, so.
Yep.
Anybody has anything else? All right, that brings up the consent agenda, so unless there's any questions. Motion to approve tonight's consent agenda. So moved, Maria, second. Linda, all in favor? Aye. Congratulations, Mindy. And there are no speakers tonight, so other than next week, we have our Budget 2 workshop, correct? I didn't look at the date, am I right? Okay. Next week is our Budget 2 workshop, and other than that, motion to adjourn. Carole? Second. Jeff, all in favor? Aye. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you.